So when you're looking at the spine, we just talked about needing it to be in the proper alignment. So I'm going to show you the normal alignment of the spine, and research has shown any abnormalities in alignment actually cause stressing to the nervous system, so we'll talk about that as well. But if we're looking at the spine, now I call this Fred for you that are a little bit cheesy, that's what I call him. So this is my spine. From the front to the back, so looking at this way, your spine should be 100% in alignment or straight. Do you see that? Now he's got a few subluxated areas, but you should see that straight spine. So on an x-ray, if your spine isn't straight, there's subluxation there. So let's look at this. If the spine is straight, then the body is healthy. Those nerves that are coming out through the bones have no interference. There's no pressure or damage. Also, the spinal cord is relaxed and it's not being pulled to one side or the other. Because one thing that can happen, if you twist the spine from side to side, it's kind of like if you would take a dish rag and you twist it and then you try to put water from the top of the dish rag to the bottom of the dish rag. What happens in the middle? It stops and it starts flowing out. That's restriction. Same thing happens with your spinal cord. You start to restrict the spinal cord and the flow of information, those messages get stuck like a roadblock there. So any twisting in the spine can affect from that level all the way down, not just the nerves coming out. So we have to look at the spinal cord and the nerves when we're talking about the bones. Now, if this is healthy, then what is this? Is that a healthy or a sick spine? Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is not a healthy spine. But the problem is a lot of people are walking around like this and they have no idea that their spine looks like this. But when you have scoliosis, which is any shift side to side that puts pressure on your nervous system, that scoliosis will create malfunction and disease over time. Looking at research articles, scoliosis can actually take 14 to 20 years of good health off your life. So how many people know of kids that have scoliosis? Exactly, there's so many kids that have scoliosis, but what they're doing, they're shortening their lifespan and they don't even know it. In fact, a lot of times you are being told, don't worry about it, they'll either grow out of it or don't worry about it until it causes them pain and then we'll brace and do surgery if it gets too bad. Well, why would you want to wait? If it's already bad and you know it, fix it and allow the body to heal, prevent surgery, prevent those symptoms from ever happening. Wouldn't you rather do that for your child? I know I would. I would rather him stay healthy and well and me never know how much sickness and disease we've prevented. So when we're looking at the spine, front to back has to be straight, okay? Now, when we're looking at it from the side, can you see that there's actually 3 curves in your spine, right, like that? Now this one, the top one, is the most important one. It's called your arc of life. Okay, so literally for life to go from your brain out to the rest of your body has to pass through your neck. That's why spinal cord injuries of the neck cause malfunction and disease all the way down, as well as paralysis in many cases. So this has to be in a curve. Now if your spine is not in a curve, what does that mean for your nervous system? Well, first off, when you straighten out the neck, it stretches your spinal cord. In fact, research shows when you straighten this out, it can lengthen the spinal canal by 15 millimeters in a stretch, okay? Now that's severe enough, but when this tilts forward, this top bone in your neck can shut forward and that puts pressure on your brainstem. So remember we talked about Christopher Reeves? That brainstem is important for vital organ function over your lifetime. So even the slightest degree of pressure there can cause problems and damage and illness. So we look at that. Also from here, the nerves come out through the bones. So if those bones are forward, it puts pressure on the nerves and shuts down function there as well. Now some functions of the neck, very important. If you don't have a curve in your neck, you're actually straining the nerves to your thyroid right here, not just spinal cord, but the thyroid. So if you have thyroid problems, whether they're diagnosable yet or not, you have to look at the lower neck in order to survive it being a problem with that organ. So thyroid, lung function, heart function, and definitely immune function is all restricted when you lose that curve in your neck. So let's think about that. Hormone imbalance, heart disease, lung problems, immune problems involving cancer, not being able to fight cancer. Those are the top killers in this country, and those are the things we're most afraid of. But we never look here first. Okay, so I'm going to help you look here first. So if that arc of life is gone, your body is shutting down. Now, what does that look like for degeneration? If you have straightening here, first off, degeneration will increase, and symptoms that can come about it, we'll talk about that as well. When your bones are forward, you're putting pressure on the discs in your neck. That begins to degenerate those discs, and as they get smaller, the holes for the nerves to come out also get smaller, so you start to pinch and have stenosis on the nerves and the spinal cord. Okay, so degenerative disc disease is really a spinal alignment problem, not a genetic problem. It's actually because the spine's out of place and you're stressing it and damaging it daily because it's not in the right alignment. Okay, so even if you have degenerated discs, we can still help to take pressure off and slow that process down. Okay, now symptom-wise, with your head and neck in this position, all the muscles from here down through your shoulders are tight and they're inflamed, and that causes what? Tension, pain all the time, headaches. Absolutely, not only from the muscles, but you pinch the brainstem, the nerves going to your eyes. That also can cause headaches and migraines. What about allergies and sinus problems? Right there, nerves goes to your eyes, ears, nose, and throat are between these levels right here. So if you have chronic problems, it may be deeper than just using a Zyrtec. All right, anyway, most of you have taken that. That doesn't really work long term, and it comes back, right? So we have to look here. I have patients that tease me because they say, well, I better get the Kleenex ready. I say, well, why? They say, well, when you adjust me, my nose starts draining, I drain down the back of my throat, and I prevent a sinus infection.